Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is my duty and obligation to begin our meeting for our annual meeting, March 21, 2023. We will hear the roll call.
Mayor Biassiata,
Here.
Mr. Joyce, Mayor Kumar, President Lucas,
Present.
Ms. McCall,
Here.
Ms. Moss, Ms. Peo,
Here.
Mayor Weiss,
Here.
and Ms. Welch.
Here.
We have 7 board members present.
Do we hear the certification?
Okay, Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. We will now have the annual meeting for the election of our president and vice president. Since the president and the vice president are candidates, I'm asking the chairperson of the nominating committee if she will conduct this portion of the meeting.
Thank you so much, Reverend Lucas. I'm going to call to order the nomination committee. Teresa, roll call. Do we not need a roll call?
You could just
okay,
go
just go through it. Okay, well, we are reinstating the nominating committee, and we received 2 letters of interest from the president and vice president, one for Reverend Charles Lucas for president, and one from Karen Gabriel Moss for vice president. I want to ask if there are any additional nominations from the floor. Okay, there are no nominations. We would like to move forward with a motion for Reverend Lucas for board president. Is there all in favor?
I would need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Okay, any second? Valerie?
Second, Luz.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are moving forward with Reverend Charles Lucas as board president. Reverend Lucas, do you have any words that you would like to impart with us?
I'm very humbled by the opportunity to serve as president for this coming year. We have had quite a number of successes, and we've been able to put on the record the things that we have done during my first 2 years as president, and I feel very good that initiatives that we had, such as the ambassadors and our code of ethics that we have changed. I love that we were able to keep every employee on during the heavy times with the virus, and that no one was laid off. And that made me feel very good to know that that was stabilized. I've had the wonderful support of our vice president, and this board has been more than willing to move ahead and push RTA where we would like to see it going. As you know, there's work to be done, and I'm looking forward to having an exciting year. As you know, we changed our rules or regulations that your term is only 3 years, so this is it for me, and I want to do the best I can to go out with a good record of what we have done this year. I also want to thank the staff of RTA, every one of them. I've had to call on every department at one point or another, and they've been so very, very willing to help. I want to thank our chief of parapolice because, and when I say para, I'm always talking about the police department, because she has been, I haven't gotten my honorary badge and dog and car yet, but I know that's coming in my last year.
It's coming.
But I want to thank Chief for that. And also, I could really go all around the room, but that would be unfair because each one of the staff has been so helpful. But I will end by saying our CEO, we have worked together in the morning and night and middle of the night and so forth. And I'm so very proud of her. I do have a slight thing to mention that we just came back from legislative conference in Washington, and a number of the cities that were there, the CEOs said, we were trying to get India, we were trying to get India. Well, we've got it, and we're not going to let anybody have it but us. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
It's church time now, but we're going to keep her and wish her the very best. But thank you very much for this opportunity to serve one more year.
Thank you for your service, Reverend. All right, we're now going to move forward with the nomination for Vice President. Do we have a motion to move forward with Karen Moss as Vice President?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now moving forward with Karen Gabriel Moss as Vice President. Karen, would you like to impart some words?
I'll be slightly more brief than the Reverend and not as eloquent. I just want to take a special thank you to the nominating committee. I had served as chair of that committee a number of times, and I know that it's probably not the most time-consuming, but no one's looking for yet one more meeting on their calendar. So I do appreciate the extra work that they do. And I appreciate the being nominated and your support. And I also just want to make sure that I say that I appreciate the support of the board members, and I think that this is in a time where some boards are not so functional. I think this is a functional board, and that we've moved forward, and we don't always agree on everything, but we are able to always move past that, and I think that that's notable. And I want to also thank the staff, who I also know work very hard all the time. And a special thanks to my president, Reverend Lucas, for his support.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. I'm now going to turn the floor back over to Reverend Charles Lucas to continue with our annual meeting.
Good. Do we need to close that?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I guess I'm going to close this.
Well, no, the chair.
Oh, the chair. Oh, the chair has to close it. Okay.
All those in favor of closing the annual meeting?
We need a motion?
We need a motion?
So moved, Valerie.
Second, Welch.
All right. We need a roll call or no? All those in favor,
Somebody is
aye?
opposed to
Aye.
closing the meeting.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. All right, we will then turn to the agenda for the RTA Board of Trustees meeting. May we have the roll call?
All right. Mayor Biassiata,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Joyce, Mayor Kumar, President Lucas,
Present.
Ms. McCall,
Here.
Ms. Moss,
Here.
Ms. Peo,
Here.
Mayor Weiss,
Here.
and Ms. Welch.
Here.
We have 7 board members present.
All right, we have the certification.
Okay, Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. We have the minutes from February 28th that needs to be approved. Is there a motion?
So moved, Valerie.
Second.
Luz.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. We will now have public comments on agenda items. Anyone here in the audience, please go to the mic.
Chris Martin, City of Cleveland. I am the chair of Clevelanders for Public Transit. Trustees, I want to clear up a point of confusion. In January, my colleague, Shalita Dobbins, spoke to you about the need to update the paratransit website to make it ADA compliant. At that time, General Manager Birdsong Terry said, in fact, the website was already in the process of being updated. We took that as great news. By February, we hadn't heard another update, so CPT member Sean Freeman came here to remind you that Shalita was owed follow-up information. That resulted in Shalita being invited to check out the new website. This is where our confusion came to light. The main RTA website is, in fact, being currently updated, and maybe the new website will be ADA compliant. That would be a good thing. But it is not what CPT asked of you. Instead, we would like to see the paratransit ride scheduling website made ADA compliant. It is rather baffling to me that the website used most often by the disabled is not already ADA compliant. It is even more baffling to me that this agency has largely disclaimed any responsibility for the paratransit website. Agency staff has told CPT that the paratransit website is run by a third-party vendor named Trustees, and that therefore RTA has no power to update that website. That's bunkum. Trustees, I would like you to bring representatives of Trustees before you to ask them why they are leaving this disabled community behind. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else who's here? All right, I don't see anybody else. We'll go to the telephone. Anyone on
We do
the
have
phone?
one caller. Mr. Stewart, please go ahead.
Yep, I'm calling to inform you that the information that you gave at the last meeting, Charles Lucas, about your survey and on the customer service line, 621-9500 being in working order is incorrect. It is still incorrect. So that goes to you, India Birdsong Perry, and Toya Walker Minor, who I all heard co-sign on your words that that survey was working. It is not. In addition to that, I'm calling to let you know again about the strongly suggested 15A. The most common job in the greater Cleveland area is a retail job. Your intention, according to your claim, was to improve the efficiency of work, school, and hospital travel for bus riders. Pinecrest Shopping Center has 61 stores. The 15A can start there at its furthest eastern point and still touch Tri-State East, Tri-State Metro Campus, Cleveland State, and come within 3 blocks of Case Western Reserve. It also will come within, and I left out this, it also will come within very close proximity to a university hospital facility near the intersection of Richmond and Harvard. It will also pass South Point Hospital. It will also come within 3 blocks. It will also pass University Hospital off MLK. It will also come past St. Vincent Charity, which is still doing outpatient work, what I understand. This also 15A bus will come through numerous Cleveland taxpayer-funded neighborhood public schools and come within 3 blocks of 5 taxpayer-funded neighborhood public libraries, which is significant because the mayor of Cleveland is claiming to be working with you as you are claiming to be working with him in improving literacy in the city. Well, this bus gives you one-stop travel to numerous places where you could get that done. But you aren't taking it seriously, and I have no evidence from any of the Board of Trustees that you read anything about this 15A that has been repeatedly suggested.
You're over time.
It is an efficient route. In addition to that, you should also take...
I'm sorry, sir, you're over time. Thank you for your comments.
Anyone else?
That was our only caller.
All right. Anybody on the web forum?
I had one comment come in yesterday. I usually email that out to the board.
All right. All right. It's now our time to hear from any of the board chairpersons that wish to make a report. Anyone, any board chair? All right. If not, we will call on introduction of new employees, an announcement of promotion, and I believe that's Mr. Fields, and he is here.
Good morning, President Reverend Lucas, Ms. Birdsong Terry, members of the board. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the March new hires and promotions. We'll start with our new hires. We have operators Tasha Jones, Ramirez Crosby, Brene Rice, Nartica Wells, Aaliyah Hamid, Alan Moss, DeAndre Stevens, Dantes Anderson, and we have a laborer, Lee Ward. Now for our promotions, we have Alcindor Pittman, Service Quality Supervisor, as well as Ricky Williams, Service Quality Supervisor, cross-trained for bus and rail. Please join me in congratulating these new hires and promotions. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. An executive session has been requested. Let me say to the staff and others that are here, today we will be coming back and dealing with resolutions and so forth. Sometimes the executive session is the last thing on the agenda, and then we close out, but that's not the case today. To consider the appointment, employment, appointment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public official or employee. May we have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
Is there a second? All right. We have heard the motion has been seconded. All those in favor, aye?
Need to call the roll.
I'm sorry, call the roll.
Okay, Mayor Biassiata,
Yes.
President Lucas,
Yes.
Ms. McCall,
Yes.
Ms. Moss,
Yes.
Ms. Peo,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss,
Yes.
and Ms. Welch.
Yes.
We have 7 ayes and none opposed.
Thank you very much. General Manager, who is to remain?
Thank you very much. As per the chair, we will have the entire board retaining here, as well as myself and George Fields. All others are dismissed at this time. Thank you.
All right. We have a motion to come out of executive session.
So move loose.
Second.
Second, Valerie.
All right. Roll call.
Okay, Mayor Biassiata,
Here. Yes.
President Lucas,
Yes.
Ms. McCall,
Yes.
Ms. Moss, Ms. Pale,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss,
Yes.
and Ms. Welch.
Present.
All right, you have 7 ayes and none opposed.
Thank you very much. We have the introduction of resolutions. Are you ready, Ms. Barrage?
Yes, I am.
All right. 2023-18.
All right, authorizing contract number 2022-088 with UKG Incorporated to provide an applicant tracking system for a 3-year period in a total contract amount not to exceed $347,000, general fund, management, information services department budget.
We have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Let me say, as I say each time, these have already been vetted, they've been to committee. The staff has worked them through. So when he hears, we're going quick, no, that's not. They've been taken the full route before they get here. 2023-19.
All right, authorizing contract number 2023-003 with CPC Industries Incorporated for the furnishing of heavy-duty cleaner degreaser as specified and as required for a period of 2 years in an amount not to exceed $161,000, general fund, fleet management department budget.
Motion, please.
So move loose.
Second.
Just one quick comment, and I'm going to make these kind of, because there's a number of these resolutions, and I just wanted to give my kudos over to the procurement department. There is not one of them that had a single bid, and that always makes me happy.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate
Madam Vice President. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. 2023-20.
Authorizing contract number 2023-012 with Transit Sourcing Services Incorporated for the procurement of 28-inch steel wheels for heavy rail vehicles in an amount not to exceed $458,000. General Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
Motion, please.
Motion Welch.
Second, loose.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. 2023-21.
Authorizing contract number 2023-014 with Northeast Lubricants Ltd. for the furnishing of transmission fluid as specified and as required for a period of 1 year and an amount not to exceed $112,275. General Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
Motion, please.
Move approval, Valerie.
Second.
So move loose. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. There's a pause. Our council is counseling. Are we ready?
Yes.
2023-22.
Okay. Authorizing contract number 2022-139 with HDR Engineering Incorporated for Project 19.46 On-Call Architect Engineer Services 2022 in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for a period of 24 months. RTA Capital and/or Development Funds, Engineering and Project Development Department budget.
Is there a motion, please?
So move loose.
Second. Mayor Weiss.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. 2023-23.
Approving a new 3-year collective bargaining agreement covering conditions of employment with the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated.
A motion?
So moved, Valerie.
Second.
Any discussion? Discussion. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Thank you very much. Thank you. That concludes our resolutions.
To the chair, I was told we do have another resolution, but I'm waiting for that to come.
Oh, you're waiting for it to come?
So I think we're going to move forward and just come back.
All right. Thank you very much.
Raj.
it's always our delight to hear from the Secretary Treasurer, who is going to tell us how much money is in the till.
Reverend Lucas, members of the board, good morning. My name is Raj Gautam. I am the Deputy General Manager of Finance, here with the Secretary Treasurer update for March. The annual inflation rate in the U.S. increased from 2.5% in January 2020 to a high of 9.1% in June 2022. Since June of 2022, the inflation rate has been falling. At the end of February 2023, inflation is down to 6%. It is expected to continue to fall in 2023, courtesy of the aggressive posture that the FOMC has taken. They have raised interest rates in December to the highest level in 15 years in their fight against inflation. The FOMC increased interest rates in February once again. They are currently at 4.75%, and as it happens, they are meeting today and tomorrow, although there is no consensus opinion available as to what course of action they're likely to take. This slide shows the unemployment rate. The U.S. unemployment rate dropped from 3.5% in December to 3.4% in January. The February numbers are not currently available. Ohio unemployment dropped from 4.1% in December to 4% even in January. Cuyahoga County adjusted, not seasonally adjusted, rose from 3.4% in December to 4.3% in January. The typical information that I provide on the metropolitan statistical areas is currently not available. We'll provide an update in the next meeting. Here we review the ridership by month from 2019 through 2023. You can see on the right-hand side, the year-to-date ridership in 2019 through the end of March was 5.03 million. That number is 3.32 million as of March 2023, representing a 34% decline from the pre-COVID levels. February 2023 ridership was 28.2% above February 2022 levels. I'll start on the right-hand side. On the year-to-date basis, the passenger fares in millions, pre-COVID, 5.5 million through the end of March 2019, shows a 20% decline as of March 2023. The February fare revenue was 4.2% below February 2022. On a year-to-date basis, the passenger fare revenue is 3.8% above 2022 levels. If someone is trying to make a correlation between the 34% decline in ridership and only a 20% decline in passenger fares, that's largely because of the UPass and CMSD agreements that have started coming back to their more normal levels. In January, the board had asked how the RTA passenger fare declines compared with other transit agencies. We've researched some peer agencies. Information was taken from their annual comprehensive financial reports. Some of those peer agencies do not currently have their numbers posted. So what we are presenting on this particular slide is 3 years of data. Each one compares the percentage decline in passenger fare revenue when you compare it to the pre-COVID levels. So if you look at the GCRTA level, you'll see that it shows a little over 40% decline in 2020. And there has been a recovery. That's the baseline that you see. And what this slide really shows is that of all the peer agencies that we reviewed, and CODA, which is not considered a peer agency because they do not have a rail system, we are better than 4 of them. Baltimore shows better recovery results than us. We have similar information for the same comparison with the larger transit authorities across the nation. And once again, the base or the GCRTA information highlighted indicates that we are actually ahead in our recovery when compared to Washington, Boston, Philadelphia, and New York City's transit systems. Whoops. Sales tax, March 2023 receipts, once again based on the December 2022 activity with the 3-month lag that I often talk were 7.4% higher than when compared to March 2022. On a year-to-date basis, it's 6.6% higher than 2022 levels. 19 of the 23 categories were positive in March. March 2023 versus March 2022 comparison, motor vehicles and watercraft were 15.5% higher. Online sales were 21.4% higher, and regular and statewide sales were 7.4% higher. Needs to be noted that the March collections, once again, as I just indicated with the 3-month lag, really represents the Christmas sales for 2022. This activity was higher than even the pre-COVID levels of 2019. A significant portion of that increase is really based on higher inflation rather than a roaring economy, if you will. With that, I will take any questions that the group may have.
Question to the Secretary of Treasury.
Just a thank you for the comparative piece on ridership. Very interesting.
And we'll provide the updated information as it becomes available for the other payer transit organizations in future meetings.
Yeah, maybe keep that as a regular slide for a little while.
Yes, we can.
If you can do that.
We can.
Okay.
Yep.
Very
Thank
good,
you.
Mayor. Anybody else? My right. As usual, thank you very much,
My pleasure.
Secretary Treasurer, for
Okay.
adding that new slide for us that we requested. We'll now hear from our General Manager. She has been on the wire, and she's been receiving awards. She's been speaking in 2 or 3 cities, and we're glad to have her back home. She's done well, and she's received so very well, both here and nationally. Here she is in living color.
Thank you, Reverend Lucas. I'm following in your footsteps, quite literally around the globe. So thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Again, I will be keeping this at a high level for the sake of time, but I wanted to make sure that we touched on a couple of important points as far as the legislative activities and also what's happening here in Cleveland. So first and foremost, we want to celebrate our own, our own board members. Mayor David Weiss with Shaker Heights has been reelected to the board. We appreciate him and want to celebrate him one more time. He currently serves as our chair of the RTA Compensation Committee, which is no easy feat, and then also is appointed by the Mayors and Managers Association. So he's here with us again. Thank you.
If you'll permit me, this would be a good time. And my election was just an hour ago to reappoint you and appoint you as the chairman for the new year. You've done an excellent job, and I hope you will keep it going.
Thank you. Mayor Weiss, if you had any comments, go right ahead. If not, I'll keep rolling.
I don't argue with my board chair.
Okay.
Oh.
Well said. So thank you very much. And again, congratulations to Reverend Lucas and Miss Gabriel Moss on their reappointments to our leadership. We appreciate you both. Going right through the representation of what we're doing, I was able to testify in addition, and let me say, we had 2 fantastic testimony given by Natoya Walker-Minor and, of course, Michael Shipper down in Columbus. The slide you see in front of me features myself, but that was on the heels of their testimony the week prior. And I was also able to share the podium with Mike in this particular day. We went down to the State House in Columbus, and we're really able to talk about some of the major uses of funding that would be coming on board as a result of the supported pot, if you want to call it that, if you will, for the state in public transit. We have to share that pot. Usually it stands around $70 million, so we ask for any additional funding to be able to support training and development. I believe with Rep. Bride Rose Rose Sweeney, there is an additional ask for $30 million to support those kind of efforts to make sure that we keep that labor here in Ohio. So thank you so much to our legislators for hearing us out. We also have International Women's Day. March is a celebration of females in the industry, and as such, we were able to be a part of a Breaking Glass Ceilings ERG, an employee research group, resource group that was in New York. We were able to kind of apply for this and actually participate virtually. There were 4 of us that were on the panel, myself in addition to our police chief, Deirdre Jones, our director of planning, Mary Beth Feek, and our director of Power and Way, Teresa Moody. So it was really great to be able to show kind of the camaraderie that we have, and we just had a great time. We were laughing and joking and also being able to be serious, to be able to talk about the importance of women in transportation and how all of us amazingly in our fields are breaking the glass ceiling, as they put it. All of us are first females in our roles for RTA in Ohio, so it's really just a nice day, and we, we appreciate that. Also, as our chair mentioned, we've been doing a little bit of traveling. Shout out to Doc Caver, who served also as the paratransit driver to be able to get on the road with our board chair, and I'm a little nervous of what they talked about during that ride. I'm sure we'll have a lot of things coming up with new projects. But to be able to get to DC was great. We also had attendance by one of our board members, Lauren Welch. As you see in the photos here, I just want to make sure that you understand who's in those photos and the importance of the networking that happened. So in the upper left-hand corner, we've got Lauren, we've got Dorval Carter, who is the current board chair of APTA. That's the American Public Transportation Association. And then, of course, our chair, Reverend Lucas, Natoya Walker-Minor, who's over our external affairs, and then also Flora Castillo. Flora is the past president, one of the past presidents of APTA in previous years, and now turned entrepreneur, has plenty of kind of resource companies that are really out there and doing great things. And Dorval Carter also serves as the president for CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, in Illinois. So we really appreciate them. They took the time to mingle with our board members and also with our staff. And you see Flance Caver there, along with Natoya, and of course our FTA administrator, Nuria Fernandez, who has been a past CEO of a public transit in California. So we really appreciate that, and we were able to get that face time that's so much needed. Also during that trip was the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, also known as COMTO. This is their 12th annual Women Who Move the Nation Awards ceremony. So as you can see, it's just a colorful event. You can see the difference even in the attire that folks are wearing. It was at the Smithsonian American Art Museum, which is an amazing gallery. If you have an opportunity to go see that, that's where you've got all the presidential photos and all of that, busts of great American heroes, and it was really just a nice day. We also had attendance was Wendy Talley, our director of training, and also we've got Jose Feliciano, one of our intergovernmental affair officers, in tow. You see me there at the top left with Bev is how she goes, but she's actually, Bev Scott is just a powerhouse. She is a retired general manager of multiple agencies and really serves as an advisor to workforce and training to the public transit industry. And then, of course, you see all of the 10 remarkable women, as they called them, that received their awards, flanked in the middle by Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. He was the keynote. So that was just an amazing day, and we appreciate the opportunity to be part of it. It was especially sincere for me, I think. I was an honoree in 2015, and it was just a great day overall. Also, I was able to testify with the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. I was on the panel alongside James Keel, who's the Director of Public Transportation in GreenLink. That is in Greenville, South Carolina. It's a small agency, but also doing a lot of the great work in microtransit and EV technology. Proterra is housed there in Greenville. Also, Mr. Michael McMillan, he's the president of the ATU, local in Baltimore, Maryland, and we were able to really talk through some of the views on public transportation, safety, workforce development, and security for transportation. It was chaired by Sherrod Brown, Senator Sherrod Brown, and then also the ranking member, Tim Scott. So we were up there for about 2 hours. I appreciate the support of RTA. I was told it was a little bit of a watch party here, and I think it was a good experience for exposure for the agency. Also, just to give a quick update on the funding requests, we have applications in for quite a few programs here. They were listed here in front of you, $4 million for community project funding and another $4 million for congressionally directed spending. We also just put in a $1.35 million project request for that congressionally directed spending to Senator Sherrod Brown, and that's to be able to address some of the training needs and also workforce development activities that we have going on here. The team really pulled it together and did a great job of showing the need here in Cleveland, so hopefully we'll hear back great results on that. I know that we have a couple of grants in the hopper, and I'm given a little bit of the nod by FTA that we'll be hearing some good news in the coming quarter. Also, St. Patrick's Day, I wanted to be able to celebrate that within the city. March 17th, downtown Cleveland. We had a little bit lower ridership than I think we expected, but mainly we had a rainy day, so that contributes to that. But it did not stop the level of festivity. We had a lot of monitoring going on right here in this room by transit police and also safety and security, and had all hands on deck downtown. So we appreciate everybody for supporting that effort. Also, Women in Transit, this is upcoming, just to put it on your radar. This is another ERG that we're going to be able to participate in, this time in person with Teresa Moody and Kay Satula, our directors of Power and Way and Office of Management and Budget. Those two ladies will be traveling to Rochester, New York, and I will be supporting them virtually in an RTS, which is basically in Buffalo and Rochester audiences, to talk about females in transportation. So great time to have those two ladies shine. I'm happy to support them in that effort. To round us out here, just wanted to give an update on what we're doing as far as the literacy program. You heard a little bit in that public comment as well. We're really being able to kind of come out like gangbusters, so to speak, with the city to be able to support the literacy effort in Cleveland. We will have an event on Wednesday, April 12th at Tower City, West Park, and Windermere stations where free books will be given out to riders and also live music. So definitely pick up a book and get reading so that we can beat the challenge that Mayor Bibb has put in front of us. And with that, concludes my report, unless there are any other questions.
All right. Our Vice President is going to be with you for the passing out of the books and so forth on that day. And any other board members, please join us. Any comments, any questions? As usual, thank you for a wonderful report, and congratulations in traveling 1 million miles since we've seen you last.
Thank you.
All right. Going back to the resolutions, Resolution 2023.
Okay, this resolution was added to the agendas 2023-24 because it was not in the agenda packet. Legal counsel has asked me to read the entire resolution. Authorizing a salary adjustment for Anthony A. Garofoli, Executive Director of Internal Audit, whereas pursuant to Article 9, Section 6 of the bylaws of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, the authority's Board of Trustees is responsible for making all personnel decisions regarding the Executive Director of Internal Audit, and whereas in 2023, the board conducted an evaluation of the job performance of Anthony A. Garofoli, Executive Director of Internal Audit, and based on that evaluation has determined that a salary adjustment is warranted. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, Section 1, that the annual base salary for Anthony A. Garofoli, Executive Director of Internal Audit, shall be increased from $150,542.53 to an annual base salary of $156,714.77. Section 2, that the salary grade for Anthony A. Garofoli, Executive Director of Internal Audit, shall be grade 115, which is within the 2023 non-bargaining salary structure, effective for the authority on January 1, 2023. Section 3, that the increased annual base salary for Anthony A. Garofoli will be effective the pay period beginning April 2nd, 2023, and retroactive to January 1st, 2023. Section 4, that this resolution shall become effective immediately upon its adoption.
All right, you've heard it. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor Weiss.
Second?
Second, Valerie.
Any discussion? Vice President?
Just one small comment. And the board discussed this very carefully, and we had a very productive discussion about this. And I would just say, with great respect to my fellow board members and trustees, that my issue is really with the salary grade of 115. That given the IA's role in the organization, I believe that this position should be slotted at 116, like his peers in. I guess that's the question. But of the deputy general managers, he is one of 2 reports to this board. So I respectfully will vote no on that portion.
All right. Any other comments? I think it was also pointed out, Vice President, that there will be some other discussions concerning this as the year moves on. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. All right. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Okay.
Roll call has been requested.
All right. Mayor Biassiata.
Yes.
President Lucas.
Yes.
Ms. McCall.
Yes.
Ms. Moss.
No.
Ms. Peo.
Yes.
Mayor Weiss.
Yes.
And Ms. Welch.
Yes.
We have 6 ayes and 1 opposition. It passes.
Right. Thank you very much. All right. We'll go back to the agenda. You actually heard the President's report when you saw the different pictures that came up. One thing about attending these conferences, you bring so much back to the various departments. I will be meeting with the head of paratransit sometime this week to share with him some of the things that I saw. And also I want to talk again, Doc and I think I talk him out sometimes, but there were some things about construction in addition to some of the buses that we saw that we want to talk to you about that caught our attention. Other than that, because we went so long with the executive session, I'll move along. Is there any old business? Any new business? All right, we're moving to public comments. Anybody who's here in person, the podium is yours for 2 minutes. Go right on up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
First, I'd like to thank the RTA for the new buses that they have. I'm glad that they don't have cloth seats, because the seats that were cloth would be pretty nasty sometimes. So I thank you for that. I'm here basically to make some complaints regarding some things that I'm not pleased with. One of them is that mesh that's all over the windows on the buses. At night you can't see, or even during the daytime it's kind of hard to see, you know, where you're going with that mesh on the windows, and I don't know why it's there. But it's black, and it's got a lot of little dots on it, and it's on a lot of the windows of the buses. So that was one of my complaints. Another complaint is that drivers don't let the ramp down for people with not wheelchairs, but with people that have grocery carts or walkers. And I've been on these buses and seen this. In fact, I've even opened up my mouth and made a comment to some of the drivers as to why they don't let that ramp down for these people. We should not have to ask for that ramp to be put down when we have a grocery cart or if a person is on a walker. Another thing is I go to the library a lot down at the public library downtown. When I leave there, I'm waiting near there where that bus stop is and trying to get to the square because I don't always want to walk that far. I have a heart condition, and it's, I just try not to walk too many blocks. But these buses, the number 11, the number 9, and the 14, headed west, I'll be standing there waiting to get one of them to get near Tower City because I take the rapid from Tower City. I live in Lakewood. And they'll run right by, So now I have to literally stand out there and flag them down. So that's another one of my complaints, and that's on Superior Avenue. Another complaint is why isn't security checking the bus shelters and the rapid stations regarding people that are smoking? I have allergies and I have a heart condition, and I can't sit or stand in the shelter when people are in there smoking. I have to stand outside in the inclement weather. That's another one of my complaints. Why aren't they, the transit police should periodically be checking these places for people that are smoking. Just before I came into this meeting, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me that she got on a number 25 bus. A man got on the bus with a cigarette lit, and he stayed on that bus smoking the cigarette. The driver didn't say anything to him.
Mr. Chair, would you like her to continue, or would
Yeah,
you like us to get her information?
You about at the end?
Okay, so let me see. Oh, here's the other thing, too. Why don't the drivers speak to these people that get on the bus and they're making themselves very comfortable and they put their nasty shoes in the seats? We have to sit on those seats. And they're literally putting their, at one time, this was a number of years back, I actually went up to the lady and asked her, would you put your dirty shoes on your sofa or on your furniture at home? So something needs to be done about that. The drivers maybe should speak up or say something to them, or put a sign up there and tell them, don't put your feet in the seats.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, would you like to leave your name?
My name is Carlotta Santori, and I live in Lakewood, but I'm in downtown often. I ride the buses every day. I have a monthly bus pass, and I'm on the bus all the time.
Glad that you ride the bus. Anybody else have a comment, public comment?
Chris Martin, City of Cleveland. I am the chair of Clevelanders for Public Transit. Trustees, Clevelanders for Public Transit calls on you to pass a resolution placing onto the November 2023 general election ballot the question of a tax levy sufficient to restore the service that this agency has cut over the years and to deliver for the residents of Cuyahoga County the quality public transit service we deserve. In response, you'll probably want to ask me, what do I mean by quality public transit? But trustees, keep in mind, Clevelanders for Public Transit is just a group of volunteers who ride the bus and the train. Meanwhile, you govern a transit agency that employs many, many experts in various subfields of public transit. So we call on you to ask them what quality public transit service, if properly funded, would look like in Cuyahoga County and Northeast Ohio. Trustees, CPT has been calling on you to seek new local funding since 2018, yet you've never acted. In fact, in 2018, then trustee, former mayor Trevor Elkins made a motion to place a levy on the ballot, but he couldn't even get a second from any other trustee. Nonetheless, at that time, then board president, Mayor Dennis Clough, said RTA would go to the ballot likely sometime in 2019. 4 years later, CPT is tired of waiting. Also, as a result of Mr. Elkins' motion, this agency presented to the board a slide deck providing some historical context for RTA service, an overview of who uses the service today, an overview of funding at the agency, and most importantly, what it would take to find additional local funding. Trustees, Cleveland District Public Transit recommends you ask agency staff to update this presentation by the time of your May meeting. This updated version should also provide a menu of service expansions that could be implemented with new funding. CPT would be glad to stay in dialogue with you about the specific contents of this presentation as it is being formulated. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Anybody else here want to make comment? If not, let's go to the telephone.
We have one caller. One moment. Caller, please go ahead.
Zarek Stewart. In pursuit of your claim of wanting to go improve efficiency through school, work, and hospital, I want to remind you that the number 50 bus should start at its most furthest southern point at Marymount Hospital and not at its furthest eastern point where it is presently at East 177th and South Mile. The Marymount Hospital will give access to Marymount for people west of 131st and Miles and north of 116th and Miles that they do not currently have. This bus will also get to 93rd and Chester faster than the current number 50 runs right now, within a 16-hour period Monday through Friday, and within a 14-hour period Saturday and Sunday. It can maintain itself as an hourly bus. The number 48 Marymount could then be an hourly bus in a 16-hour period Monday through Friday and a 14-hour period Saturday and Sunday, and still give very efficient 30-minute service up to the intersection, meaning it would be sharing service with the 50 every 30 minutes, up to the intersection of 131st and Miles, where it will still have 30-minute service north of Miles and 131st by implementing the number 48A bus, which should be the bus that starts at 177th and South Miles and runs every 16 hours Monday through Friday, in a 16-hour period Monday through Friday, and in a 14-hour period Saturday and Sunday. The vast majority of the people that travel that route of the 48 and what should be the 48A are north of 131st and Miles, getting on and getting off for more than 6 mile route where they share the exact same route. Now, I want to say this in addition to what I've already said. You spent more than 3.5 minutes, Charles Lucas, praising yourself to people that you have daily access to. Karen Moss, you spent 3 minutes and 14 seconds thanking people that you have daily access to.
Time, sir.
India Birdsong spent 4 minutes talking about how much fun she has doing her job to people that she has daily access to. But you only give the public
Sir, you're
2
over
minutes
time.
to talk about things that are...
Thank you for your comment.
All right, thank you very much. I do want to say that when we get callers like that, Joel is here, and he reports to us back as to the suggestions that we get concerning routes and so forth. I was glad to hear this lady talk about not being able to see out the window because I had that. I already turned that one in myself because I was on the bus and I wanted to look out and I wanted to see out. Then I wanted to see me, but I just added that part. I just wanted to see out. So thank you very much for being here. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Certainly on behalf of my Vice President, I thank you again for your support. I will not take the 3 minutes that we just heard. Thank you again. Is there anything else before this august body on this day? If not, the next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April the 18th, the boardroom of the Authority Route McBride Building, 1240 West 6th Street, Cleveland, Ohio. This meeting will be live streamed on RTA's board page and will also be available by clicking to the meeting date. The public is welcome to attend also in person. We have a number of people from the public here today. May we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Valerie.
Second, Luce.
Well, that was quite a motion to adjourn. Anybody else? Oh, it's never debatable. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming from the community, and thank you, staff,